6 years. 70 million lives, gone. An entire world, on fire. This is the story of the Second World War. But this war did not happen overnight. It was the result of hatred, humiliation, and catastrophic decisions that had been building for over 20 years. The year is 1918. The First World War has finally ended. But the world that survived was broken. Cities were in ruins. Economies had collapsed. An entire generation of young men had been wiped out. France, Britain, Germany. All of them were bleeding. But Germany bled the most. In 1919, the victorious nations gathered in Paris. They had one mission: to decide the fate of the defeated. What came out of those meetings was the Treaty of Versailles. Under this treaty, Germany was declared solely responsible for the entire war, forced to pay 132 billion gold marks in reparations, stripped of 13% of its territory, and its army was reduced to just 100,000 men. This was not just a peace agreement. For the German people, this was humiliation. Carved into law. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Back home, Germans were furious. They called it the Diktat, the dictated peace. A settlement forced on them at gunpoint. And then came the economic collapse. Hyperinflation destroyed savings overnight. A wheelbarrow full of cash couldn't buy a loaf of bread. Unemployment soared. Families starved. And the government seemed powerless. And in moments like these, when people are desperate enough, they will follow anyone who offers them hope. His name was Adolf Hitler. Born in Austria. A failed artist. A WW1 veteran. A man who felt the humiliation of Germany personally. He had a gift. Not for governing. Not for strategy. Not yet. His gift was words. He told the German people exactly what they wanted to hear. Your suffering is not your fault. You were stabbed in the back. I will make Germany great again. And the crowds went wild. By 1933, Adolf Hitler was the Chancellor of Germany. Democratically elected. By a desperate people. Who just wanted someone to believe in. Hitler didn't just bring promises. He brought an ideology. Nazism. 3 core ideas drove everything. Ultranationalism, Germany above all. Racial superiority, a twisted, evil hierarchy of human beings. And Lebensraum, living space. The belief that Germany needed to expand by conquering other lands. These were not just ideas on paper. These ideas would kill millions. Hitler moved fast. He rebuilt Germany's military in direct violation of Versailles. A new air force. A larger army. Warships. Then in 1936, he marched troops into the Rhineland. A demilitarized zone. Forbidden under the treaty. And Britain and France did nothing. Hitler later admitted, if France had marched into the Rhineland, we would have had to retreat in humiliation. It would have been the end. But they didn't. And Hitler learned something crucial that day. The West would not fight back. Britain and France had a strategy. It was called appeasement. The idea was simple. Give Hitler what he wants, and maybe he'll stop. In 1938, Hitler demanded the Sudetenland, a part of Czechoslovakia. Britain and France gave it to him. Without even asking Czechoslovakia. Chamberlain returned to London waving a piece of paper. He called it, Peace for Our Time. It was not peace. It was a countdown. Churchill stood up in Parliament and said, you were given the choice between war and dishonor. You chose dishonor. And you will have war. September 1, 1939. German tanks crossed the border into Poland. Britain and France declared war. The Second World War had begun. But this was only the beginning.